There's a number of ways to go at this, but Cap, as we take a look at last night's game, it's one of the best Thursday night games that we've seen in a long time with the Ravens and the Bengals, and this all relates to the Bears. But what we looked at, Cap, is two teams going back and forth. Great game, came down to the wire in the fourth quarter, but the point is, though, is that you had two teams there with Lamar Jackson on one side and Joe Burrow on the other, strong offenses, and it was an entertaining game.
Hoodie, I thought it was a sensational game. I went to the Bulls game last night, and I had to bring the football game up on my phone because the sophomore versus the varsity, as you put it, wasn't as entertaining. I had a great time, but, oh, man, the Bulls suck. But watching that game, I have Jamar Chase on my fantasy team, so I'm going nuts in our family fantasy league. And I'm watching Lamar, and I'm watching Joe Burrow, and it was mind-blowing how good those offenses were. They couldn't stop each other.
Yes.
Lamar Jackson, ridiculous. And then Burrow goes, hold my beer. And bam, Jamar Chase. Like, the Cincinnati offense is so light years ahead of where the Bears offense is. Now, I know they have a veteran quarterback versus our rookie. But Jamar Chase, we don't have a receiver close to Jamar Chase. Remember last year, we had all these people calling it DJ Moore's a top 5 receiver in the league. Stop. No, he's not. And you and I had him like 12th.
Yeah.
And people were outraged. I said he's the 12th best receiver in the entire NFL. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and Tyreek. Those guys are miles ahead of DJ Moore. And that's not a shot at DJ. That is praise for the greatness of what we watched. But watching those two offenses go back and forth last night, we're not there. We're just not.
Here we are. Here we are, Cap, you and I and the rest of Bears Nation saying to Shane Waldron and Matt Eberflus, gotta run the football. Gotta run the football. And you can't have the ball in the air 50-plus times. But yet Joe Burrow goes 34 for 56 for 428 yards and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. They ran the football 49 yards, the Bengals. Now, the sports radio in Cincinnati is different from the sports radio here because we're still about the meat and potatoes of being able to run the football, hit it to the tight end, score, play good defense. And the reason why that we say that, Cap, is because that's the personnel that you have right now with a rookie quarterback, with a good running back in Swift. Not great, a good running back, good running game, rickety offensive line. You do have weapons as far as your wide receivers are concerned. But when we see Lamar Jackson, 25 for 33, 290 yards and 4 touchdowns, Burrow putting in the air 56 times, the reason why they were still intermediate, like, okay, got to run the football, just, take the time off the clock, is because of who we are versus who they are. See the difference?
Correct. But if you look at what the Ravens are able to do, had Cincinnati been able to establish the run a little bit more, they keep Lamar on the sidelines, and maybe they win the football game. So I don't think you're saying you shouldn't run it. I think you're just pointing out the fact.
I'm just telling you about, we talk about dynamic offenses. We saw it Thursday night. The Bears, they're not a dynamic offense yet.
Right. But
we have to still keep it, close to the vest by, all right, just make sure that Caleb's comfortable here. Give him some time. Throw it to the tight end. Throw it to the wide receiver. Kind of like the 3-game winning streak we saw. There wasn't these big Instagram, TikTok throws. Yeah, he wasn't doing that. It was just, get the rhythm of the offense going. Let's go. It's a dance. You to the tight end. You to the wide receiver. Run the football. Just keep the defense on their heels, which is one of my keys for Sunday's game against the Patriots. This team here, all right, let's pat. Bam! Big-time throws. Get that ball down the field. Big-time aerial assault. Bears, different.
100%. But again, if Cincinnati, had handed the ball. By the way, where was Khalil Herbert yesterday? Didn't know the playbook yet?
All right, that'll be fine. Don't you do that.
We got our Shay's off, of course, today. He's resting. You called that one yesterday.
Yeah.
He won't be here. I'll see him. Shay's here yesterday. Hoodie says to him, see you Monday. I'm like, Monday? Are you off tomorrow? He says, no, but he will be. Of course, we get the text. Yeah. See you Monday.
Yeah. So my son, Horace Grant, he had the blue flu when he was with the Bulls. Blue flu. We'll see him Monday. Go ahead. What are you saying?
Exactly. So Matt in here.
Call the 10.
Matt in here has Barry Sanders as Khalil Herbert.
That is ridiculous.
Oh
That is
my God.
absolutely ridiculous. I did not call Khalil Herbert Barry Sanders.
Okay, Gale Sayers.
All I said was that guy had a lot of production in his 2 years as a Bear.
Yeah, I noticed.
And
they
he
were
was
all
given,
lined up at the trade deadline to
given
get him.
zero opportunity this season. Okay,
Yeah, because he
to
can't
run the
block.
ball.
He's a pedestrian back. That's what he is.
It has nothing. But let's talk about like why I brought that up. Why I brought up Khalil Herbert and why I thought he was done wrong here. And this goes to Ryan Poles and what he's done with this team. I think Ryan Poles has done a really good job in certain places. Poles has also done bad jobs in other places, and there's no such thing as a perfect football team. But I think that there's a direct character flaw. Not, maybe character flaw is the wrong way to put it, but a GM flaw with Ryan Poles, and that's he likes his guys. He is impartial to the guys that he drafts and he signs and he trades for, and he is not as impartial to the people who he inherited. He gives way longer of leashes to the guys that he brought into the franchise as opposed to the ones that he's just, they were there when he was here.
Okay.
Because you can point to so many examples.
All right, now hold on a second. Well, before you continue, Matt, I need you to come in here and get your condom. Come in here.
It's what we put on a microphone, so you're not popping your peas all over there.
You'll get that.
Can't be going raw, man.
My God.
Wow.
Just screeching into the mic like a CB. I mean, okay, that's fine, but you got to have some protection.
Correct.
My
God.
apologies,
Just
guys.
screeching into a mic.
I mean, Kevin just got me fired up here. I never said Khalil Herbert was Barry Sanders. Never said it.
You pretty much did.
And you can call him Cap, but you don't really know him like that. Don't call him Kaplan. Go ahead. You were saying. Go ahead. You were saying, Matt.
David.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
No. That's my point. I mean, Nate Davis was given opportunity after opportunity where he probably didn't deserve it. And why was he done that? Because he was traded for and brought in.
No, he was
by
signed
Ryan.
as a free agent, and he's not even through 2 seasons
But
here.
he was brought in. Poles brought him in. That was a Poles move, and he was given opportunity after
and
opportunity.
who did he not give these opportunities
to
to?
Khalil Herbert, which is the point of this convo. A guy who actually came here and did 10 times more.
He
10 times
had
more
it for
than
2
what
full
Nate Davis.
seasons.
He did 10 times more than what Nate Davis ever did. He did 10 times more than whatever Velus Jones did, which, by the way, Velus Jones didn't do a damn thing here other than fumble the ball and fail to do the thing that he was literally drafted to do. He was drafted to be a special teams guy. How many opportunities was that guy given?
Well, Matt, can I just say this? That for every general manager, whoever you think the top general managers are in the National Football League, there's going to be hits and misses. And keep in mind who the Bears were when Poles took over the job and where he is in year 3. So again, you might be talking about some of the swings and misses in your view of Poles. However, there's more hits than misses.
Yeah, I'm looking at the roster that he inherited, and this was the 2021 Bears. Justin, yeah, he upgraded there. David Montgomery, he offered a contract to. He chose to go to Detroit. Darnell Mooney, by your metric when we were meeting earlier, we got more weapons than the Bengals on opening day. Disagree with you, but that's your perspective. Darnell Mooney, he let him go. Let's see. Allen Robinson, what's he doing? Playing touch football in some other league? He's done.
I agree. I totally agree that there have.
Hold on.
Yeah, go
Jesse
ahead.
James, a tight end. I'm not aware of him ripping the NFL apart, but maybe he is. Cole Kmet, he gave him $50 million. Jason Peters, he's 64 years old. He's done. Cody Whitehair, we've seen enough. Thank you. Sam Mustipher wasn't good enough. Thank you. James Daniels, solid player. Whatever. He's fine. And Larry Borum. Oh, he's still on the roster. Go to the defense. Is Angelo Blackson leading the league in sacks? No, he's retired. Eddie Goldman, Bilal Nichols, Robert Quinn, Alec Ogletree, Roquan Smith, Khalil Mack. He traded them. Jalen Johnson got one of the richest contracts in the league at his position. Kendall Vildor, backup. Tayshaun Gibson, he's playing in San Francisco. He's all right. And Eddie Jackson, and we got Byard there. My point is, Ryan Poles does not look and go, well, I drafted Hood, or I signed Hood. Cap I inherited, so I'm going to be loyal more to Jonathan. If I'm a good player, they're all Bears, man. They're all Bears.
Who got a longer leash, Nate Davis or Roquan Smith? Who got a longer leash, Bayless Jones or Roquan Smith?
That's a horrible comp. Roquan Smith, he was ripping the roster apart.
You wouldn't want one of the best linebackers
No,
in the NFL still on your roster? Okay, that's fine.
I just want you to know, Matt, that as a Georgia football fan, obviously that I had an attachment to Roquan Smith. But I remember at the time, it happened on this show when Roquan Smith was no longer with the Bears. I shed a tear for maybe 10 minutes, and then you had to move on.
Correct.
Because it's the business of the National Football League. Look, I love Roquan Smith, but I understood what Ryan Poles is trying to do.
Rebuild.
Yeah, I understood. Like, as much as I wanted him to be part of the new look Bears, I understood what he's doing. Just keep in mind that, again, with perspective, sure. Look at who the Bears were with those guys that Cap mentioned, those cornerstone guys. They weren't winning with them.
They were horrible.
And so the whole premise of what Ryan Poles is trying to do is, hey, we know you have difference, I won't say difference makers. You have veterans that are making a lot of money on the roster, and you're losing with them. Right? So that's why you make those changes. You say, you know what? And by the way, guys, he did it with balls. He did, because it took balls for him to step to a McCaskey and say, I know you like these players. I know they probably sign a lot of autographs. I'm sure they move a lot of merchandise, but you're not winning with them.
And you're not going to win with them.
So as a general manager, Matt, for whatever, again, for good or bad, you have to reimagine the franchise in your image, not the previous GMs. And I think that's only fair.
No, I think they're absolutely fair points. I think just my case kind of rests on this. There have been better players who've been given less opportunity than the ones who were brought in specifically by him. And I think that with specifically Bayless Jones and specifically Nate Davis, it came to bit him in the butt until he eventually had to get rid of both of them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, as long as the team is getting better, I don't mind the swings and misses. Because
he got rid of Nate Davis.
Well, eventually.
Eventually, but he's still here.
Yeah, Nate Davis, Bayless Jones, Chase Claypool. These are names that we don't talk about on a regular basis anymore because our central focus is on the better players on this roster. The better players.
No question.
Like this whole thing, like with Bayless Jones during the time of Hard Knocks, could he have gotten a deal? Could he not have it? They need to have a special teams guy. They didn't know he had the dropsies. They didn't know that he was Steve Sachs out there.
Right.
Like he had a hole in his hands.
Correct.
But how do you fix it? Okay, so he's over here on the side, inactive. So he's not going to be a detriment to the team.
Correct.
Even though he might be a good locker room guy, that's all I hear. Great locker room guy.
Yeah, they loved him.
But still,
it wasn't good enough.
Just not good enough. Same thing with Nate Davis. They put him on ice, and I think that's the right thing to do. We could chalk it up as a mistake, no question. However, what do you do with that mistake? If you can't move him, he just can't be on the roster, or he's off to the side, or inactive. Right? So, I mean, I guess for me, there's more base hits than swings and misses for Ryan Poles. Yeah, we can talk about the issues that he's had as general manager, but the overarching point is that the jury's still out on all of it. Until you could have a winning team, the jury's still out on all of it. Doesn't mean that Ryan Poles is a bad GM. I don't believe that. But Cap has said it. I've said it as well, that you have to be able to have a winning team this year. Playoffs or not, you got to be a winning team and getting better every year. Have to.
Agreed. Agreed. But I think that I just had to tell you, I thought that was just an awful take, in my opinion. I mean, he's more loyal to the guys he brought. Broke up a horrible roster. It's nothing to do with loyalty. They all wear Bears jerseys. Cole Kmet's a good player. Pay him. Jalen Johnson, good player. Pay him. He's told Tevin, hey, stay healthy. Show me you can be on the field and be a contributor all season long. Then I'll pay you. I hope he doesn't at this point, but he may be forced to because I'm going to look at free agency, but I don't think you're getting every guy. So, 100%.
So, how about we open the phone lines, McMaster? 312-332-ESPN, 332-3776 is our telephone number. Let's do this. Let's talk about Ryan Poles, because that's a topic that Cap and I have not talked about a lot of as far as getting your reaction to Ryan Poles. So, if we are able to put a letter grade on Ryan Poles as general manager to this point, Bears are 4-4 coming into Sunday's game against the Patriots. You know what he's been able to do so far. What's your letter grade on Poles as GM? We talk a lot about Eberflus and the drama that's going on at Soldier Field regarding Caleb Williams and DJ Moore and Shane Waldron. What about Ryan Poles as GM? Your overall thoughts on Poles as GM on the Kap and J Hood Morning Show.